All right, we were just talking about Legacy Motor Club, and I think this is a good transition to talk more about Legacy Motor Club because it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on over there. It seems like they have a bright future, and ever since Jimmy Johnson kind of got into the ownership realm over there, it seems like they're really trying to build up for something bigger. And we've heard before that they're going to get more funding, that they're going to try to quickly improve and fast track and get 3 cars. They want to get I don't know if you could even get 4 cars anymore, but I think at one point they discussed on possibly getting to that fourth car. But I think with the rules now, I don't know if you could have a fourth car anymore, if I'm not mistaken. But Legacy Motor Club are looking like they're continuing to try to improve. As Jimmy Johnson released this last week in a little interview, he said that they have 27 celebrity backers lined up to back Legacy Motor Club. Obviously, Darius Rucker is already a part of this big time country star. He even did like a little mini country concert in the infield in Nashville this past week, right in front of the Legacy Motor Club haulers, which I found really cool and really interesting. Interesting thing to do at track. So a lot of money potentially coming into Legacy Motor Club, and I also do want to bring up Parker Retzloff because Parker Retzloff this last weekend was racing a Toyota Tundra. I would also like to note that was Parker Retzloff's first career Craftsman Truck Series start. And overall, he looked really good. He didn't obviously get the finish. He had issues throughout the race. But before he had those issues, he looked like he had a top 10, top 5, maybe even a top 3 race winning truck. Who knows? But he was definitely very fast. But the most interesting thing was is that he was wearing a Legacy Motor Club fire suit. Obviously, he is not at Legacy Motor Club. He is not Toyota driver. He's racing at Viking Motorsport, which right now has an alliance with Rich Childress Racing, so that would be Chevrolet. But this reminds me a lot of what happened with Caden Honeycutt last year. Caden Honeycutt signed a deal with Toyota to drive that 11 car. It wasn't known at the time, but it was an inside rumor. Later on, obviously got announced. But after he signed that contract, he got dropped by Nice, and he ended up racing for Stuart Friesen. When Stuart Friesen went out with injury, he raced that car for the rest of the year and almost won the championship. He got it all the way to the champ. He got it all the way to the championship four. So really great job by Kane Honeycutt last year. But this reminds me a lot of that. So maybe Retzloff already has a deal with the Toyota team. Maybe Legacy Motor Club is getting, with all these celebrity backers and all this money coming in, maybe Legacy Motor Club is deciding to expand into the O'Reilly series, which I think would be really cool. Who knows? I would like more contending teams in the O'Reilly series and in the lower series in general. So who knows what that means? And I want to send it to Cory on this one because Cory, we're both big supporters of Parker Retzloff and everything he's able to accomplish. Mr. Crocker just be killing it. He outdoes what his equipment is pretty much every week. So I want to get your thoughts on the Parker Retzloff aspect of all this, but also what are your thoughts on Jimmy Johnson dropping kind of a bombshell here, saying that he potentially has 27 celebrity backers? That is a lot of money potentially coming into Legacy Motor Club, and maybe Legacy Motor Club is on the fast track to be one of the big teams in the Cup Series.
I think that is a hint towards expansion. And I think what you said in the group chat earlier was exactly what I'm about to say is that they already have 3 charters, right? It's most likely going to be Riley Herbst for at least a year next year in
Yeah.
that 3rd charter. And then now they need to start developing, right? I think that's why he announced he has 27 celebrity backers, right? They can't get a 4th charter. So maybe get an Xfinity or oh my god, an O'Reilly
Damn
team.
it.
And I know, man, get an O'Reilly team, and that's why he was in that Legacy Motors Club, suit. Like you're not gonna go in a truck, Toyota truck, your first truck race in a Legacy Motor Club suit. Like that's the sign. There's a hint. There's something future going to happen. And one is awesome. I think you and me are both like so excited for him because we've been talking about him for a while when he was in the 31, last year in the 4, then now he's in the 99 and I didn't know how he was going to do this year. Like that team's new partnership and he is killing it. Top 10. He's in the top 10 like every week. And it's awesome that it's getting noticed. Like we're finally seeing it. I'm so excited. I hope whatever this is, it takes effect next year. I'd imagine it would. So I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but it's going to be awesome. I really hope it's a legacy expansion into O'Reilly and Parker is in a Toyota in the O'Reilly series next year in good equipment.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see, and I just want to see more competitive race teams in the lower series because I remember when Penske was kicking ass down there, they would have an all star in that car almost every week, and then they put Cindric in the car, and that's where Cindric kind of made his name for himself in NASCAR was with how well he did in the O'Reilly series at the time called the Xfinity series at the time. So I would just love to see more, like a lot more competitive teams in the O'Reilly series. So maybe they just decide to build an O'Reilly series program from the ground up. I think there is a big possibility that they could potentially purchase Sam Hunt and Sam Hunt Racing and purchase that race team. And you would already, at that point, you would already have, like, you have Harrison Burton already there waiting. And Harrison Burton, I think, is a very talented race car driver. Maybe you team up Harrison Burton with Parker Retzloff, have two cars over there, have Sam Hunt be a part owner of the O'Reilly series team, something like that. Who knows? If I had to predict something, I think that would be my prediction that he purchases Sam Hunt Racing and all their cars, and Sam Hunt jumps on board of Legacy to be a part owner of Legacy Motor Club, which I think would be smart for both sides because Legacy Motor Club's obviously growing. And it would improve Sam Hunt's race cars, and you also get Harrison Burton in the deal. Harrison Burton, I think, is a very talented race car driver in his own right. So I think that would be my prediction with that. And yeah, Retzloff, and I think Retzloff is probably going to end up racing. I think I agree with you. It's a hint towards something. I have seen people online say that maybe Retzloff's going Cup Series racing, and I think that is a possibility, but he's not ready. He's not at all ready. He doesn't even know what a good car feels like yet, let alone ready for the Cup Series. I just think that would be way too early. Retzloff's not at all ready for the Cup Series. I think he's smart enough, and I think he's talented enough to be a Cup Series guy. But my big thing is he doesn't even know what a good car feels like. He's never been in a good race car before. He's always been in mediocre race cars at best. So I don't think he's ready for that. So I think the most likely thing is Legacy Motor Club's expanding to the O'Reilly Series or potentially the Truck Series as well. But I don't see Retzloff going back down into the Truck Series. That wouldn't make a lot of sense to me personally. But the truck is more comparable to the next gen car. So what am I to say? Who knows? Who knows what happens with all that? Maybe Tyler's able to make sense of all this. Tyler, how do we feel about Legacy Motor Club having potentially 27 celebrity backers, and what does Parker Retzloff have to do with all of this?
I mean, Parker's been mentioned by just about everybody in the last couple of weeks, and that's crazy because his name started coming up. Not for us. I mean, we've been talking about him for years now, but his name started coming up with people like Kenny Wallace and all of these other people kind of randomly. So it definitely feels like he's getting the shot he deserves. Um, what I see happening personally is probably Legacy builds goes into the O'Reilly series, right? And then probably does an open car for him the following year. Because then if you have an open car, I feel like you don't have to have all the races. You can put him in certain races, get him his feet wet, things like that. And then the following year go from there. Um, that's the only thing I can see happening.
Yeah, I get that.
Another thing about that too is don't forget C. Bell was on the box. Christopher Bell was on the box watching him in a Toyota truck
Yeah, that was interesting.
wearing a legacy suit for the first time. So I'm like, that's crazy.
That
Like
was
it
interesting.
almost looked like Toyota fully backed him
Yeah.
for that truck race. Like there was like a deal was made almost.
Like Toyota wanted to see what he could do, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that because that's why I was kind of comparing it to the Honeycutt stuff because it just felt so similar to what was happening with Honeycutt around this same time last year. But obviously, his race team had a lot different of a reaction than Viking has because the moment that Nice got a sniff that Ken Honeycutt wasn't going to be with them next year, they just canned him, which I still don't like that. I think that was just completely unprofessional. And yeah, fire a talented race car driver who's doing really well for you in the middle of the season just because he's going to a different manufacturer next year. I just think is completely unprofessional, and I wouldn't recommend any drivers going to Nice. That's just my opinion, because that still sits very wrong with me. But I found that very interesting what you were saying, Corey. I found that extremely interesting. They randomly panned away to Parker Retzlaff's pit box, and Christopher Bell looked like he's like a mentor for Retzlaff right now or something like that. And I don't think there's anybody better in the Toyota camp than Christopher Bell to really be that mentor, because Christopher Bell is one of the most well-rounded drivers in our sport. He's been to the championship 4. Obviously, he hasn't won a championship, but he's been in that championship situation. He's won a shitload of races at the O'Reilly Series, the Truck Series, and the Cup Series level. He's really been very strong at all 3 levels, so it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I think that Toyota's kind of putting their arms around Retzlaff. They really see what sort of talent he has. And Tyler, you weren't talking a little bit ago. You were talking about randomly everybody kind of started talking about it. Everybody started really noticing him. And I think this year he's just kind of put himself on the map with how strong he's done. And the moment that Dale Jr. started bringing up Retzlaff, like Dale Jr. started talking about Retzlaff a bunch. Right when he did that, everybody's like, "Yeah, Junior's right," because everybody listens to Junior. Dale Jr.'s voice and words carry so much in our sport. I don't think even people that love Dale Jr. realize how much everybody listens to what Junior has to say. Everybody listens in complete silence.
Junior's king.
He is. He is. We all listen to Junior probably more than anybody, because he was born into this sport. He's the son of in my opinion, the greatest driver to ever grace NASCAR with his presence, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. I just think it makes a lot of sense for Retzlaff to potentially be a Toyota. I think he's already signed to Toyota. Not potentially. I think he is already signed to Toyota. It's just the question is, what does he do next year? Does Legacy Motor Club expand into the O'Reilly Series? Maybe he races a Cup car next year. I don't think that's the right decision if that's the decision, but maybe that's the case. Maybe he's just racing for a different Toyota team, and maybe he has something similar to what was happening with Ryan Preece. Because some of you may have remembered with Ryan Preece when he was at Stewart-Haas, before he ever signed with Stewart-Haas, he was like an alternate driver for Stewart-Haas Racing Cup team, and he just had a Ford contract underneath that. So maybe that's the case. Maybe he races for Joe Gibbs Racing or for Sam Hunt in the O'Reilly Series next year, but he has a legacy contract. I don't know. I think it's something we'll have to figure out pretty soon, but definitely they're leaving hints on putting him in a Legacy Motor Club suit. They had to get that specially made for Retzlaff. It had the Truck Series patch on and everything. That wasn't by accident, that was done on purpose for some sort of reason.
I'll also say, like, it's also a coincidence that it happens the same week that Cory Heim is officially a Cup driver next year. You know what I mean? Like, the dots align. Okay, well, we lost that prospect's moving up. We need a new prospect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, let's take one of the best O'Reilly drivers that's available right now. And I think that's literally that simple.
Yeah, I think it's a really great decision on Toyota's part if they are putting their arms around Retzlaff and saying, you're part of the Toyota family. We believe in you. We're going to try to get you into some really good cars here soon. Because I think if, for example, he ends up racing, I don't think this is what's going to happen, but if he does get put into a Joe Gibbs racing car next year in the O'Reilly Series, unless Brent Cruz and Corey Day, if Brent Cruz and Corey Day are still in the O'Reilly Series next year, one of them might be my championship favorite. But right behind them, I would probably have Retzlaff, because I think so much of Retzlaff. I just think he gets the very most out of his equipment. And I think he's a really smart driver for he has a decent amount of experience at this point, but with how young he is, the fact that he's never really been in a great race car, with how smart he is behind the wheel, it's kind of surprising. He's obviously a very smart race car driver. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Legacy Motor Club getting 27 celebrity backers? That's very interesting, and Legacy's getting a lot of money thrown into it. So what is the future for Legacy Motor Club? Do they expand in the O'Reilly Series? Who knows? Who knows what happens? And what does Parker Retzlaff have to do with all this? Because he was wearing a fire suit for his Truck Series race at Nashville.